obviously, Aaron Rodgers, he gets hurt. Jordan Love comes in. A lot of people were impressed. Like, we haven't really got to see a lot of Jordan Love. And so I think that a lot of people were impressed with the little bit that we saw, especially like that one throw on the touchdown. Like, that was a pretty tough throw, and he made it happen. So now, obviously, very limited sample size, but now we get into that weird situation where, like, doesn't Jordan Love have to be extended after this year? Maybe I'm wrong on that.
Maybe we have to
or he has the 5th year option, so you like the negotiations are open up or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, like, you're starting to see, like, all right, well, like, do we want to see more Jordan Love playing? The Packers, what is y'all's record now? You fall to 4-8.
4-8, yeah.
Once again, not eliminated from anything, but 9-8 is also a little bit of a tougher task to ask for a wild card spot, especially with like how the NFC picture is sort of shaping up. So if it was up to you, would you Aaron Rodgers said he's playing next week, but would you shut down Aaron Rodgers maybe for the rest of the year and just see what you have in Jordan Love?
I definitely would. I mean, everyone already knows I'm kind of, not a catastrophist, but I feel like I've been pretty realistic, objective about my Packers. You know, that's why I tried. It's very hard to always do that with your team. I feel like that's our strengths here. And, I mean, like I said, we did not really even in control of this game. I know Rodgers, you know, one of the picks was bad. The other one, especially if you watch from the all 22 angle, like, couldn't really see that Eagles defender. So really can't put down Rodgers. Also, the fact that dealing with the thumb injury, I know Aaron's been downplaying and such, but especially if, you know, if he does plan to play next year, or even if he doesn't, because especially if he doesn't, like I said, you have to see what you have in Jordan Love, and you have to see him struggle. You have to see him, you know, go through all the motions to see, you know, what you need to work on too. Because once again, like, he hasn't gotten much even playing time. You only seen him in limited preseason action. You know, one game against the Chiefs, but you know that was still, you know, I feel like a million years ago. So yeah, if I was in charge of the Packers, I would, you know, tell Aaron, hey, look, go have some ayahuasca, just chill out the rest of the year. Like, we're not risking you, whether you want to be here or not, or, you know, regardless if you want to be a trade or whatever. We're not risking you. We need to see what we have in Jordan since we traded up and got him, and he's a first-round pick on him. So yeah, I am of the camp. Just let Jordan play, because it's the Bears, Rams, Dolphins. Dolphins is going to be an interesting one. That's a good test for Jordan on Christmas. Vikings, you know, hey, that might have some implications for the Vikings. So, you know what I mean? Some games where you're playing some teams that are going to probably bring it in regards to, you know, they have some things on the line. So it'd be nice to see Jordan play some games where, you know, it's pressure moments, critical situations. Okay, how does he react? How does he respond in those moments? So yeah, that's what I would do. Long answer.
Just update on the contract situation. He's got this year. Then he's got, this is his third year.
So
then next year's fourth year. And then so it's about picking up the 4th year option / extension, and all that kind of stuff.
5th year, right? 5th year.
Sorry, 5th year option. Yeah. So he would have, after this year, he has 2 more years technically if they pick up the option. So it's not tons of pressure to play him right away.
But that could be key in regards to, because I think you have to pick it up before the start of next season. And
and so that's why it's like you kind of want to see him play. Anyway, I agree with you. I would personally shut down Aaron Rodgers, just because what do you have to gain from playing him? Also, like you mentioned, the schedule. If it was like an easy week schedule, then maybe you're like, let's make a run here. But you said the Dolphins, the Vikings, like, these are some good teams here that if you drop those 2 games, the best you could do is 7-10. Like, you're not making the playoffs there. Like, even if you drop 1 game going 8-9, that's a tough ask to say you're going to make the playoffs with that.
Sorry, and just to add on, like, we have the Bears this upcoming week, which I expect we'll probably win with Aaron, but then a bye week too. So, like, yes, we win, we're 5-8, but we could be eliminated by then. So yeah, it would be the bye week. Although it sucks it's late because it doesn't help us this year. It could help with another week of preparation for Jordan, because then he plays, like I mentioned, the Rams at Miami, and then Vikings and Lions at the end of the year. So, like, yeah, it has potential to, like, have some ups and downs, but, you know, some highs and lows. Like, some good defenses, and then the Lions defense, which we all know is not great. So,
all right. And then just follow-up question 2. Obviously, there's plenty of time to think this over, especially considering Jordan Love's contract. But regardless of if Jordan Love was to play well or not, do you think the Packers should potentially explore trading Aaron Rodgers in the future, or do you ride with him?
I love Aaron, but roster presently constructed, and even thinking ahead, I think we got to move on. Like, we got to move on from him. I love Aaron, but he's in the win now mode, and for some reason, Green Bay is never really in a win now mode. We're always, even when we were in our championship, we're always thinking 4 years ahead, which can be great at times, but can also not be great, as we've seen recently. If he can find a package, I would trade him. But like we talked about too in our group chat, his contract makes it difficult, and the fact that he's kind of had a down year, and he's getting older. So yeah, if you have an offer, even just one or maybe 2 first-round picks, I would take it. And especially if you get to see what you have from Jordan, maybe once again that's why I'm more for that. Because 2, I mean, let's not rule out Rodgers may retire. He already kind of has already hinted at it. So maybe he might see it this year and be like, man, like we're not really close to. I really want to gut it out another year. So yeah, I would, if Aaron continues to play, if the possibility's there, I would move on from Aaron. Much as I love him, but
yeah, I personally, I mean, I'm not a Packers fan, so my opinion doesn't really matter. But I would agree, just because I don't know. It's like, all right, can we win a Super Bowl with this team? If you don't feel that confident, then you might as well make a move that would benefit you massively in the future. I know that a lot of people want to have the loyalty and all that kind of stuff, but as we're seeing with teams like the Seahawks or the Lions, like making that trade, as much as it sucks to trade a guy who's been sort of the face of your franchise, even in Russell Wilson's case, won your Super Bowl, oftentimes the team that gets all those draft picks is going to come out on top because they've now set themselves up for a much faster rebuild. And like best case scenario for the Packers, Jordan Love actually does turn out to be like a baller. You can surround him really quickly with pieces and maybe even try to compete really soon. And I know that would suck because obviously you would sit there and think like, oh man, like why couldn't we have done this Aaron Rodgers? Well, once again, that would only really be possible because of you potentially trading him and getting a lot of quick, talent and high draft capital. So I don't know, just interesting scenario, because I do think if Aaron Rodgers was to get, miss any time or get shut down and Jordan Love does start to look good, this could be a conversation that people start to have pretty soon here if that happens.
And I just want to say too, like trading him, I mentioned the cap would clear up a lot of cap space. Maybe it'll do a couple things at free agency and then obviously a draft. But if you keep Aaron, we really can only add through the draft because we're strapped for cash and there's no one that we can really get rid of.